Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and we have a video of harsh truths here today. These are going to be 8 habits that make men ugly from a woman's perspective. Now, the good news is all of these things are completely in your control, and according to science, unattractive or ugly traits actually are not always physical. So my list today will be a mix of both traits and behaviors. The first one here is constant complaining and negativity. Now, this demonstrates a bit of a victim mindset, which doesn't typically land well with women or anyone besides other people who also have a victim mindset. Complaining almost never makes a situation better because it doesn't involve action or solutions. It's rooted in negativity and just exposes your inability to handle things properly or come to a solution, which is attractive to women. I just don't think the woe is me approach has ever turned a woman on. Quite the opposite result, actually. Now, I'm not telling you to never talk about how you're feeling or ask for help when you need it. You absolutely should be doing those things, but having an overly negative approach where you're constantly complaining, never accept help or take action is just a cesspool of awful, if I can be so honest. Let me also throw in here being chronically online and following people who constantly spew hate and reinforce your negative beliefs. This has become such a problem, especially in this space here on YouTube. Also, X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, is a hot mess as well. Cut that garbage out of your life and watch yourself change for the better. The content you consume, who you watch, what you listen to is so important and absolutely has an influence on your mindset and how you operate. So please keep this in mind and understand that this is making you ugly from the inside out. It is quite literally rotting your soul. So let's move on from that. Next, we have poor health and hygiene. Now, I know this one is pretty obvious, but I have to say it out of principle. I will use any excuse I can to remind you guys of the importance of taking care of yourself, because I really think that this is half the battle. And honestly, a lot of physical traits that are deemed as ugly are really just rooted in laziness and people not taking care of themselves or prioritizing their health. Living a sedentary lifestyle where you don't prioritize your health and wellness can make you ugly both inside and out. And by ugly, I just mean unhealthy. Attractiveness tends to point back to one thing and one thing only, and that is health. So it's no surprise that the flip side is quite the opposite. Not working out and being sedentary, eating too many processed foods, bad breath, body odor, not showering, greasy hair with dandruff, flaky or oily skin. I mean, I could go on and on here truly, and it's really just a lot of things that show that you aren't taking proper care of yourself. Taking care of yourself inside and out will make you more attractive. It just will. Make sure that you're keeping yourself clean, you're keeping yourself tidy. Again, there are so many things that I could talk about this one, but I don't want to go on and bore you. You guys know what I mean when I'm talking about taking care of yourself inside and out, living a healthy lifestyle, having positive, healthy habits, having a grooming routine, good hygiene. All of these things really add up and pack such a big punch. And it is very easy to see the difference between the men who do this and the men who do not. So get on it. Another thing that can make men ugly in the short and long term here is not taking proper care of your skin. Now, it is time, gentlemen, to get your hygiene and grooming routine in check with the help of today's sponsor, Tiege Hanley. So many men aren't doing this, and it's incredibly effective for protecting your skin from damage. Tiege Hanley simplifies this process. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing that you don't. Now, I always recommend the level 1 system, which comes with a face wash, a scrub, an AM and PM moisturizer. But at a bare minimum here, you need to be using the bare minimum system, which comes with the daily face wash and the AM moisturizer with SPF 20. Again, bare minimum, guys. You need these at a minimum. This isn't something you want to put off because prevention is key. Your future self with skin that looks better than every other guy who didn't take my advice will be thankful. Tiege wants to make it a no-brainer for you to get started on your skincare journey. And because Tiege is sponsoring this video, they're offering you an amazing deal. Just click the first link down in the description to get 40% off of your first skincare system. Plus, as a member, you'll also get 20% off for life. So click the first link down in the description and get started on your skincare journey today. Okay, my next point here is being physically unkempt. And I know this one is kind of like my last point, but it goes a bit further than just basic hygiene here. These are things like your clothing not fitting properly, pit stains, stains on your clothing, wrinkles, except for if you're wearing linen. That's the only situation when it's okay. Hair all over your clothes. Looking physically unkempt isn't attractive because it often makes you come across unhygienic or just unwell. And I do want to note that there are certain fashion or style aesthetics out there that lean into sort of an unkempt vibe that can still look great if properly pulled off. You know, if things are a little bit oversized or drapey. I'm not saying you have to fit into a certain box aesthetically in terms of fashion, or everything needs to fit you skin tight in order to look nice or put together. So that's not what I'm trying to say. But the key here, I think, is just making sure that you don't look dirty. A sloppy appearance that looks like you put no effort in is not doing you any favors. Because simply put here, a man who puts in effort is attractive. Get your style in check, get your haircuts, take care of yourself. These are all really important things. So you obviously want to start with the things that I talked about in my last point, but then expanding from there is, making sure your clothes fit you properly, making sure you're lint rolling if you have a pet who gets pet hair all over you. I mean, I have a very cute little ragdoll cat, and she is the cutest thing in the world, but she is a force to be reckoned with for my dark clothing. So I always have to make sure I have a lint roller, make sure you're steaming your clothes or ironing them, making sure there's no stains or anything like that. Just looking physically put together, okay? When you look dirty, when you look unkempt, this is not making you look attractive and could be making you look uglier than you actually are. The next one here is a bad attitude and bad manners. Yuck. Having bad manners and overall just being rude for no reason is such a major turnoff. Anger issues, I'm looking at you. Nothing is uglier than a man with an awful attitude. And again, this has nothing to do with the way that you look. A man who is polite, kind, and a gentleman is far superior than a man with anger problems who blows a gasket over a minuscule inconvenience. How you treat others, both people you know personally and people you do not know at all, is important. This can speak volumes of the type of husband and father that you'd be, and a great woman simply will not be attracted to a man with bad manners or a bad attitude. Say please and thank you. Hold the door open for people. Be kind, be courteous. The bar is incredibly low here. These are all bare minimum things. Bad table manners included in this one as well. Chew with your mouth closed, please. And just a public service announcement, there are plenty of videos here on YouTube that can help you with basic table manners and etiquette if you need a little bit of help in this department. I understand we weren't all raised in a situation where we were taught those things or where we learned them, but as an adult, it is up to you to take the initiative and learn the things that you need to learn in life. And there are so many resources, and free resources at that can teach you these things. So there's no excuse. Instead of watching all the scary, red pill, toxic crap on the internet, go watch a nice etiquette video of how to act at a nice dinner. Simple swaps here. But really, to wrap this point up, having a bad attitude, being rude to people, who you are in here and in here matter so much. And I really believe that being ugly inside to your core is far worse than any sort of physical attribute could ever be. So this is not about the way that you look physically. I would say this about the most handsome man in the world. You are ugly if you treat people in an ugly way. Point blank, period. Okay, the next one here is floating through life or having no goals. If you don't have goals, it can be difficult to have clarity and an understanding of sort of what to do next. Without having any personal goals for yourself, you're kind of just floating through life willy-nilly with no sort of direction. This causes people to feel confused, depressed, and often feeling like they lack fulfillment or purpose in their lives, which starts to infiltrate into every area of your life and every relationship that you have. These feelings can impact every single aspect of your life in a negative way. How can you show up for people in your life when you can't even show up for yourself? It all starts with you. Men who lack clear goals and direction in life might be perceived as less attractive to some women for a variety of different reasons here. Number one being a man without goals may come across as lacking ambition or motivation, which can be unappealing to the women who value drive and determination in a partner, which understandably so. I can understand that. Many women are attracted to men who have a sense of purpose and direction, as it can signal stability and confidence in knowing what they want out of their life, which in return makes the woman that they're with feel safe and secure as well. Without goals to strive for, a man might appear stagnant or complacent, which can be unattractive to those seeking a partner who's continuously growing and evolving. Be someone the person you want to be with would want to be with too, as I always say. Without any sort of goals or things that bring you joy or something that you're working towards, it might come across as if a man lacks passion and excitement. Pursuing goals and passions can be attractive as it shows dedication and enthusiasm for something besides yourself, right? And at the end of the day here, women who are driven and goal-oriented themselves might seek a partner who shares similar values and aspirations. This is just a compatibility thing. A man without goals might be perceived as incompatible with someone who values ambition and personal development. And I often see a lot of people get sort of upset in the comments when I talk about how women are attracted to men who have drive and ambition. And it's not just about looking for someone who makes money. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about someone who has goals for themselves, who is well-rounded as an individual and has joy within themselves that they can then share with the people around them. Who you surround yourself with absolutely matters. Surrounding yourself with the wrong people can make an impact on your decision making, your values, your goals, which can potentially lead to poor choices, missed opportunities, negative habits that can have long-term consequences on both your personal and professional life. So do not underestimate the power of the people that you choose to be with. And I don't think we should be giving people a hard time for doing this as well, especially if they are being what they want to attract and they are trying to be the type of person that the person they want to be with would want to be with too. I'm not talking about women who have completely unrealistic standards, who are unwilling to evolve and grow themselves, but are expecting perfection out of a partner. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about people who are showing up to the plate and expecting their partner to do the same and being attracted to that. Next, we have lack of sleep. Now, your nights staying up until 2 a.m. playing video games or doom scrolling on TikTok might be making you ugly. Don't blame the messenger here. I'm just reporting the scientific facts. Not getting enough sleep can actually be the culprit behind unattractive features that you probably don't want. It can cause your blood vessels to dilate, leading to dark circles under your eyes. Fluid can accumulate under your eyes due to poor circulation caused by a lack of sleep, making the eyes appear swollen and puffy. It can actually decrease blood flow to the skin, resulting in a dull complexion and a loss of skin elasticity. If your lack of sleep gets to a chronic level, it can actually accelerate the aging process, leading to the formation of wrinkles and fine lines on the face. A lack of sleep can also lead to increased stress levels, which can trigger skin issues like acne and inflammation. I'm going to talk about stress later in the video, so I won't say too much here, but it can also make you moody and irritable, which is not fun for anyone around you. It's called beauty sleep for a reason, gentlemen. Adequate sleep is so important, so make sure that you're prioritizing it. Again, not just for the way that you look, but for the way that your body functions and feels. Next, we have heavy alcohol or substance use. Another one that's pretty obvious, but again, I will take any chance I can get to be a positive influence for you. Let's just start by saying if you're the guy who gets sloppy drunk every time you drink or you completely lose control of yourself, major turn off. If you're going to drink, at least be responsible about it. No girl wants to be with a guy who is making a fool out of himself in public because he had too much to drink. So that's the woman's perspective element of this point. Now, on a purely health and science level here, alcohol and substances do not do anything positive to your physical appearance. Here are just a few out of the many ways that it can make you ugly. Starting by, alcohol is a diuretic, which means that it can lead to dehydration. Dehydrated skin can appear dull, dry, and less supple, potentially leading to premature aging and a dull complexion. Alcohol can also cause inflammation in the body, which can manifest as redness, puffiness, or skin conditions. Here's a rough one here. Alcoholic beverages are often very high in empty calories, which can contribute to weight gain over time. I have watched people firsthand cut alcohol out of their diet and instantly lose weight. Alcohol can also affect your beauty sleep. It can disrupt sleep patterns and lead to poor quality sleep. And I already talked about how a lack of sleep can make you less attractive in my previous point, so I won't elaborate here, but it can also deplete the body of essential nutrients such as vitamins and minerals that are important for healthy skin, hair, and your overall appearance. Now, I will also say, and this might sound harsh, I've never seen an alcoholic who looks good. I've never seen someone who does heavy drugs that looks good. This is poison to your body, and I know that I probably sound like a party pooper to a lot of you. I do not drink. I do not use any substances of any kind. That is just a personal choice that I have made for myself in my life, and I am happy with that. But if you are going to do these things, you should, at a minimum, educate yourself on how this is impacting you in the short term, how it might impact you in the long term, and exactly what this is doing to your body, because I promise you, it isn't good. Next on the chopping block, we have stress, high cortisol. Chill out. It might just make you hotter. Stress can actually trigger skin conditions such as acne, eczema, psoriasis, or rosacea. And I'm speaking from personal experience here when I say this is awful. And it certainly made me feel ugly. I know this was out of my control, but now looking back, there are so many ways to manage stress that can really help. So I'll get into that. It can also lead to increased oil production, which can result in clogged pores and breakouts. Chronic stress can accelerate the aging process by increasing the production of cortisol, which is a stress hormone that can break down collagen and elastin in the skin. This can lead to the formation of wrinkles, fine lines, and sagging skin. Stress can also contribute to hair loss or thinning by disrupting the hair growth cycle. It can cause dark circles under the eyes, puffiness, weight gain. The list goes on here, a ton of things that you probably don't want. But again, learning how to manage your stress will improve your life from every angle, not just your physical appearance. I would actually say that's the least important thing here. Exercise, mindfulness, meditation, deep breathing, Seeking support from loved ones or even a mental health professional can really help. And I understand that we can't always control what happens to us or stressful situations that we get thrown in. So my advice here, as someone who has experienced high cortisol myself, find things in your life that can make it more manageable for you. Again, exercise really helps me. Deep breathing really helps me. Anytime I feel overwhelmed or stressed out, I always take at least 3 to 5 very deep breaths. My mom actually taught me this when I was young, and it's something that I've carried with me throughout my adult life that has really helped me. I think it's one of the most powerful tools that you can use to sort of regulate yourself and calm yourself down. This always helps me, but I would say the biggest things for me are exercise and deep breathing. I know a lot of people really benefit from meditation or going to therapy. Again, my advice is find something that works for you specifically. Now, it's probably not going to cure your stress or high cortisol instantly or right away, or even sometimes short term, but practicing these things long term can really help. And I would just highly encourage you to try to keep your stress at a manageable level and at least recognize when you're at a point where you say to yourself, all right, I need to go work out. I need to go for a run. I need to clear my head. I need to take some deep breaths here and really work on self-regulating. I also think sometimes stress can make us act in ways that maybe are out of character. It can make us snap at people. It can make us moody and irritable and sort of fall into that bad attitude or manner category that I mentioned earlier, which obviously, impacts the way that you're coming across to people as well and can make you come across a little bit ugly, right? If we're just being honest, we're not perfect, we're human, and it's okay, but just try to be cognizant of how this is affecting you and ways that you can manage it. But all right, guys, that is all I have for 8 things that make men ugly. If you like this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. Let me know down in the comments, what are some things both internally and externally you think make men or women ugly? I would love to hear from you guys down below and get a conversation going that is constructive and helpful, all right? Let's be as kind as we can while talking about things that make people ugly. I know that might be difficult, but let's do our best. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.